As disappointing this election may have been for the Democratic Party, the House of Representatives elections, which has still not been called for either party, has really been a Hail Mary for the Democratic Party. Blocking a Republican trifecta would be gigantic for them. It means that, simply put, Republicans cannot, pass whatever extreme legislation they might. Democrats can block it in the House. Now Republicans have already taken control of the Senate, as well as the presidency, obviously. So a win in the House of Representatives would absolutely be gigantic for the Democratic Party when it comes to blocking Republican legislation. And it really is a Hail Mary for the Democrats right now because they have a very solid chance of somehow winning Senate control. And you wouldn't expect it at all when you look at the presidential elections. Donald Trump sweeping all seven battleground states. When you look at the Senate races, Kerry Lake coming close in Arizona and Dave McCormick flipping Pennsylvania. You wouldn't expect Democrats to do as well as they are doing in the House races. House races usually go with the flow of the country. We can look back here, and in every election where there is a new incoming president, where a new president is elected, like 2020 where Joe Biden won, his party, the Democrats, took control of the House. Or 4 years earlier, when Donald Trump won the presidency in 2016, Republicans won control of the House. Or in 2008, when Obama came into office, he and the Democrats won control of the House. Or in 2000, when George W. Bush won the presidential election, Republicans took control of the House. So again, House races really do go with the flow. They go with the mood of the country. So to see it this tight, despite Donald Trump sweeping all battlegrounds, that is really surprising. So with that being said, Democrats are at 200 seats right now, and Republicans are only at 212. Now, you need 218 to win, so Republicans are at a clear advantage. They're only 6 seats away from majority, but when you look seat by seat, how each seat is standing, it is entirely possible for Democrats to win. So, this is the map. If every candidate who is leading in each race right now does, in fact, win. New York Times gives us whatever this graph here so we could see all the uncalled races and we could see the margin. As you can see, quite a few are extremely tight, and you see a good chunk of them are in fact leaning Democratic. You see a good chunk of them. You have 13-point margins, 12-point margins. Some of them you don't even understand why they haven't been called yet. While when you look at the Republican leaning races, yes, they're leading, but number one, there's far less than them. There's far less as many as the Democrats, and there's significantly smaller margins. It means that when you look at the uncalled races, Democrats are more likely to win most of them. So again, once you fill in all the uncalled races, Democrats are up to 211. Republicans are at 224. But again, as I said, Democrats have very strong leads in many of them. New York Times and other news sites are just very cautious about calling races because they don't want them because they don't want to be wrong. But you can see in Louisiana's 6th district, for example, I don't know why they haven't called this. Over 95% of votes in, or 95% of votes are in, and Democrats have about a 12 or 13-point lead in Louisiana 6. So obviously, a district like that is going to go Democratic. So every light shaded district you see hasn't been called. But of a lot of these states, a lot of these districts, I should say, have been called like other organizations like CNN or Decision Desk HQ, and stuff like that. And they rarely get it wrong. So you could see Louisiana 6th is going to go to the Democrats. Maine's 2nd district, Jared Golden will hang on. Surprisingly, that's a real shocker. A lot of districts have called Maryland's. Well, I think this the 6th district with April something Delaney or something. April McLean Delaney. She's leading by 3 points, but that has been slowly gaining. Marcy Captor has been called as the winner by a lot of organizations, news sites, and all that. Um, and then you've got Washington's 3rd district. This one's a surprise looking at the national environment. The very moderate Marie Gluesenkamp Perez does hang on. She leads by 4% with 92% in. That is almost a sure win for her there. You've got, of course, Oregon. This is Janelle Bynum, who has ousted. This is actually a flip for the Democratic Party. She has ousted Lori Chavez Dreamer, who won in 2022. She leads with 83% in by 2.5%, but that is likely, or very unlikely, I should say, for Chavez Dreamer to make gains. So already, I'm well. Already a lot of seats. You don't see it in the numbers here, but already a lot of seats flip to the Democrats. And then as for the Republicans, they're favored in Arizona's what this is Eli Crane's district. So he is extremely favored to win. You could see he leads by 8 points with 87%. And one like this, I don't understand why they can't just call it yet. Very interesting. But as you can see, 9 point lead there for Eli Crane in Arizona's second congressional district. And beyond that, you say Republicans, you can't really call many for Republicans like we were able to do for Democrats. I mean, a lot of these, I have not seen the Republicans projected the winner yet by other organizations. A lot of these remain extremely, extremely close. Alaska looks interesting. Alaska, you've got Mary Peltola, the incumbent Democrat, and she's actually down right now. She's down to Nick Begich with only 3/4 of the votes in, but she's down by 4%. There can absolutely be a comeback there for Mel Peltola, and a lot of the outstanding votes are actually mail-in ballots. You've got Mike Garcia's district. This one does look a bit interesting. Mike Garcia always hangs on election after election, sometimes by just a few hundred votes. And once again, it's looking like it's going to be a few hundred votes. He's ahead by 900 votes in. But as you can see in a lot of these California districts, no one has called them because so few votes are in. You could see in the 27th district of California, Mike Garcia. He's ahead by 900 votes, but only 77% of the vote is in. You can see, look, it gives us the chart right here. In the 22nd district of California, David Valadao is up by 10,000 votes, 9 points, but only 66% is in. You can see even David Schweiker, he's ahead by 5. This should be a very close district, the first district of Arizona. He's only ahead, he's ahead by 5 points. That's not a little, but only 82% of votes are in. You could see again, Nick Begich in Alaska, 76% of votes are in. Michelle Steele in California's 45, 76% in. Ken Calvert, this is a razor-thin district. This should go either way. This is toss-up, but only 57% of votes are in. California is awful at counting votes, if you didn't know. John Duarte in California's 13th, only 62% in. So you cannot call any of these states. You could see that once Calvert wins and all the ones above him, that is 218. But you've got multiple districts where, well, you have less than 3/4 of the votes in. Less than 3/4 of the votes in. That's incredible. But when you look at these Democratic districts, over 90% in, or almost 90% in a lot of them. So that is something to keep your eye on. When you look at strictly who is leading in each district, Republicans have the upper hand, but so many votes are left to be counted in many of these districts. We can't call the California districts yet. We just can't, even in Michelle Steele's district. This includes Democrats and Republicans. Both of them have quite a few toss-up seats there, ones that we can't call. And that's because California is so slow at counting votes and we barely have any votes in. So this is where things stand right now, I believe. Greg Stanton, I'll have to check up on maybe. I think some have projected Stanton the winner in Arizona. But you could see, with the toss-up districts, it's 214 for Republicans, but 207 for Democrats. Both can win. Democrats would need 11 of the 14 seats. Republicans would need 4 of the 14. So again, Republicans have the upper hand, but when it comes down to it, either party can win this majority. There are actually 2 more. Oh, both Democrats, so they're even further down. But whatever. Oh my god. What did I just do? I don't know. But anyway. I don't know what I did. Oh, okay. I see what I did. Anyway. Again, Republicans do have the upper hand, but it's a toss-up race. Either party can win control of the House here. And you've got, potential flips for Democrats too, which is, really stunning to see looking at the rest of the country. You've got Juan Kiscomani. This wasn't even on my radar, and I thought Kamala Harris would win the election. Well, not on my radar, but I thought that Juan Kiscomani would win. But you can see he only leads by 0.6% with 76% in. So absolutely a winnable race for Democrats there. He's only ahead by 1,800 votes. You could see Democrats are almost flipping Iowa's first. We'll see if there are any more remaining votes here. but Mariana Mailer Meeks is only ahead by 0.2%. Look at that margin. In 2020, she won by 6 votes, literally 6 votes. So she's always in tight races. That one could be a flip. Um, Again, looking at these Democratic districts, Greg Stanton is one that you could probably call 82% in, not all the votes in, obviously, but he is ahead by 6 points. A lot of organizations have called that for him. I guess I would say that Stanton is favored enough to win to call him the winner there. But again, Democrats are flipping a lot of districts, but they're also on the offense on a lot of districts. You've got Ohio's ninth. Mary Captor won by something like 13 points in 2022. So to see her doing this much worse is definitely a surprise. This is Ohio's Toledo district. But she does lead. The vast majority of news outlets have called that race for Mary Captor. So they're on the defense in some, as you know, House races always go, but also on the offense on a lot of others. They have a key opportunity to flip a lot of seats. But I mean, look, how it stands right now. Let's say they hold all their seats where they are leading. And when you look at them, I really do think that they will. Maybe one that is pure toss up is California's 47th with David Min. That one could probably go either way. As you can see, they're very tight race, and you've got a lot of votes left. Only 80% counted. And the 21st, probably, we don't have a good idea how that's going to go, but Costa has won time and time again, so it's not really on my radar too much. But when you look at where Democrats need to go to get 218, they got to flip Iowa. That's key. They would have to just hope. I mean, Marionette Miller Meeks is ahead by 800 votes. They've got to have some Hail Mary in Iowa, a last batch of Democratic votes to get the lead there. It would be by 100 or 200 votes, I'm sure. They might not even need Mike Garcia, honestly, but it's possible. Well, they need Mike Garcia because only 77% is in. That's doable. Juan Kiscomani in Arizona 6th. This one keeps going back and forth, and you still got a quarter of outstanding votes. So that would be in the mix. The Democrat in Colorado's 8th would have to hold on. They do have an incumbent here, and she has led most of this race, but now with 85% in, she's down. So that one, I don't know how that one's going to go. It looks like Republicans are favored, but very narrowly. That could go either way. And boom, Democrats are already at 216. They're already at 216. Then from there, they've got to get one of the two of these seats where barely any votes are in. That would probably be Ken Calvert in California's 41st. It doesn't matter if he's ahead by 3 when you've got almost half of votes still outstanding. And I don't want to go generic here just because they're the two smallest margins. But the last one to get to 218 for Dems would probably be California's 13th, John Duarte, against Adam Gray. It looks like Adam Gray could win there. He's down by 3 points with 40% of votes still outstanding. So that would probably be it. So again, it's Miller Meeks in Iowa. I'll just do likely margins. Miller Meeks in Iowa. Caravello holds on in Colorado. I honestly think that Peltola is favored, so I'll give her that too. I didn't even talk about that one. In their path to 218, you've got Kiscomani losing in Arizona's 2nd. Schweikert actually holds on in this scenario. And then you've got, of course, the Democratic seats. Boom, boom, boom. Mike Levin holds on. All these guys hold on. Josh Harder holds on as well. So that's the Democratic seats. And then it is Duarte, which is this district down here, I think. It's Mike Garcia down in Southern California. And then it's Ken Calvert in California. And that's 218. That's how they win majority right there. Now, 3 are toss-ups. Republicans could win them. But as you can see, we just did that math. And there you go. Democrats have 218. That is entirely in the realm of possibility. Again, Republicans have the upper hand. They have the clearest path to majority. But still, Democrats have a wide open path to win these House races, which would absolutely be gigantic when it comes to actual government, actual politics, getting stuff done. So thank you all for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe down below. Drop a comment if you did, and I will see you all later.